I'm Bryce.
And I'm Maddie, and we have conversations with professional closers in northern Utah.
Today we get the opportunity to chat with Mandi Lee and Lori Lee. These two formed a team in 2015, and with their 40 years of combined experience, have been dominating the real estate market in Utah.
Welcome to the closing table.
Well, thank you both for joining us. It's our very first episode.
Thank you for asking.
We're excited to be number one.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. But that is super cool of you guys. We're very happy to have you, and this is gonna be fun. So,
Should we break the ice?
let's do it.
'Kay.
Let's start with a game to
All
kind
right.
Awesome.
get ready.
We
to
like
go.
games.
We're
Mandy
gonna
and I are game
play
girls.
Would You Rather.
Oh, this is my husband's
So-
favorite game.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah. So, would you rather have toes for fingers, or have fingers for toes?
You going first?
I'm gonna say fingers for toes.
Fingers for toes. We gotta ask why.
It just seems like it would be easier.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like to move around.
Yeah.
It's 4 hands.
Pick things up and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Mandy, but I am going to tell you that I can pick things up with my toes and I can pinch really hard with my
That's
toes.
right.
Do you have really arch? Is your arches really high? Yes.
Yeah.
My wife's the same way.
I can pinch you in your leg at night.
It
That's
hurts.
a-
Like no other.
It hurts.
Get on your side of the
Yep.
bed.
100%. Can you walk on your toes bent in?
Never have tried it, but I'm going to say no.
Like
Oh,
a
My daughter
dancer?
can do that.
Can
Yeah.
she? Can
Yeah.
Chris do it?
So my,
Nice.
my daughters and my wife can. Because
Yeah.
I thought it was because they're arches, but maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
they're
it's
just
crazy.
really weird. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
What would
Comes
you
from the
pick?
mom.
Yeah, that's right.
What would I pick?
Yeah.
Definitely fingers for toes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's
I think
good
that's a
one.
given.
Okay. Would you rather play every instrument or speak every language in the world?
Definitely language for me.
Cool.
That would come in handy.
It
Mhm.
would.
when
It
you're
would.
traveling and
Yeah.
100%.
even with clients.
Do
Right.
you play any instruments though?
No, I used to play the piano and the violin growing up, but I gave up both.
Do you speak any other languages?
No,
All right.
There's always
I'd
time.
like to. I know. It's never too late.
I love music with all of my heart,
Mhm.
and I know people say they can't, and they really can't. I can't carry a tune at all. In fact, one of my favorite stories is my niece was sitting on my lap at church, and she looked up at me and she said, "Rory, you sing the same words as my mom, but you don't sing the same song." I'm like, yeah, I know.
That's amazing.
So I would probably choose instruments
Yeah.
because music, my cute special needs daughter, music
Aw.
speaks to her soul,
Yeah.
and I would love that talent because I have none.
Do you have like music going for her? Like,
Oh, she watches music videos a lot. And
is it
she,
classical? Is
No, she likes everything.
Everything.
Football's her favorite, which is hilarious.
Is awesome.
She loves
Blake Shelton.
She loves Blake Shelton. She sits in her little
Yes.
wheelchair and kind of hangs her head sometimes in the minute on the voice that Blake talks. She
Yeah.
lifts her head and laughs because she's nonverbal. But
He's
yeah,
hard not to love.
yeah, it's
so.
true.
He's
It's true.
awesome.
So yes, music moves her soul. But I have always loved music.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So that's what I would
Do you
choose.
speak any other languages?
I do not.
No. Okay. All right.
Nope.
I think we're gonna go 0 for 4 with languages. Unless you speak some
Neither of you
weird-
two.
No.
What would you choose?
I think I would go with languages for traveling.
Yeah, for practical.
Yeah.
Sure.
That one's really hard. I'd probably go with music, just because my family's so musically inclined. I'm
Nice.
not, but yeah, I think I'd go music just to like be able to like sit down and play the piano whenever I wanted. Would be
Mhm.
so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, should we
Awesome.
do one more? Would you rather have a hamster-sized elephant or have an elephant-sized hamster?
Oh, is there not a C option? Oh, man.
Oh.
You gonna go first?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
I'm gonna say either or both. because I am an animal girl.
Are you?
I have a
What kind-
dog, I have a tortoise, I have a bird. I'm raising right now my son's jumping spider. I am a really good spider
Oh
mom, and I
my
did
gosh.
not know that.
I don't think I could do the spider.
How big is it?
Well, it's a she. Her
Oh,
name
she.
is Nezuko. She came this big, and she's now about this big.
No.
Oh
I
my
feed her
goodness.
crickets.
No.
My funny spider story is Chris and I were watching her because she gets out when you put the cricket in her little cage. She comes out and she jumps and wraps her legs around him and drags him in. And we were trying to get her to eat at the beginning because I don't know how to do a spider. And so we were cheering, and Chris sat there and he looked over at me. He said, You know, if she's on the floor, we just step on her, right?
Man, yeah.
So I would do either because I love animals.
I love that. Okay.
I'm gonna say hamster-sized elephant just for practical.
Of course.
know,
Yeah.
To fit.
But then your
Absolutely.
cats would eat it.
They would chase. They wouldn't eat it. They would just chase it and play with it.
There you go.
So what do you have cats? Anything else?
I have two cats, two Persians, and they're babies.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're like kids.
Do
Aw.
they have hair?
Yes,
Okay.
they do. Yeah.
The ones without hair scare me.
No, I don't like hairless.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they are
Well, like,
creepy.
how do you pet that? That's
Yeah.
what I
I
want
I
to
heard
know.
it's actually. I heard they're actually decent to pet. Like it's not
They actually
weird.
feel soft. Well, so my
Yeah.
Persian right now, one of them is shaved because he had a lot of mats,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a hairless cat. Like they are just like skin and bones.
Yeah.
Hairless cats are. I
Mm.
don't like that.
Nope.
They look like
Thank
a
you.
baby gerbil or a rabbit when they're born with
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you going with?
I would go hamster-sized elephant for sure.
But you hate animals, so.
That's not true. I have a dog.
Yeah, you have a dog.
She's my fur baby.
Yeah, is it
What kind of
Yeti?
dog do you have?
Yeti. She's a Great Pyrenees.
Oh, nice.
She's very needy, constantly
Yeah.
on top of me.
Aw.
80
She
pounds.
wants to be a lap dog, right?
Yeah, all 80 pounds of her.
Nice.
Hey, you brought her to the.
Yeah, I brought her to
The
the trunk or
treat.
treat that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's right.
She had
Didn't
a
you have
little
her dressed
witch.
as- yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Full
That's
witch
awesome.
costume.
How about you, Bryce?
I'm going with elephants, or no, the first one, the hamster, elephant-sized hamster. Or wait, no, whatever
The
the,
smaller
first
You
one?
want
one
the
was.
bigger one or the smaller?
I want,
Bigger
I
or
want the
smaller?
tiny elephant.
You want what Mandy
Like
said.
that. I think that'd be. I just want to see my daughter with it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so fun to see her with that. But, no, animals are not my thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys don't have any?
We have a dog, a golden doodle.
Mm,
I get too attached to things.
no. That's
So-
why you need animals.
Right.
But then we've actually
You outlive them.
we actually put a dog down before,
Oh, shit.
and I've never
That's hard.
nope,
It is hard.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
But they bring so much joy.
I
They
know,
sure do.
and that's why we got another one. But yeah, I'm there. That's where I'm at.
There you
So
go.
yeah, but
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, should we jump into who the Lee team is and let
Yeah.
you both introduce yourselves?
Sure.
yes. Yeah.
I'm Mandy Lee, and Lori and I met. Do you want to tell the story, or do you want me to?
You can tell.
So Lori and I go way back. She was my high school teacher at Ogden High.
When we
My-
started in 9th grade, so
Yes,
my
I
goodness.
had her
started
4 years.
in 9th grade.
And what was her like what class?
Debate.
Oh, debate.
Yeah.
Okay.
In
So
debate.
that wasn't just like a club. That was like an
No,
actual
it was
class.
a class/club.
Oh,
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
man, you guys are really good.
Debate is because we have region and state in
Uh-huh.
the state in
Yeah.
debate. We actually are classified under the Utah Athletic Association.
Oh, wow.
And so our cute Dave Nordquist, who has passed away since, used to call me the pimple on the athletic department's butt because we took some of his funds and
Oh
we
my
were the
gosh.
brainiacs.
That is
Yeah.
that right there. I'm just gonna say that's going to be like the comment of the podcast right there. That's
They
it.
would be proud that he is on
That
that.
is it.
Yes.
The pimple
ahead.
of the
That's
butt.
awesome. No, so I took debate from Lori, and then I was her nanny after high school. Well, kind of I
In
started
Coyote, when we went to
senior.
Lake Value and
Yeah.
Taylor and Zara.
Yeah, when I was a senior.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that Lori did as a teacher would now not be.
I could never
Okay.
teach him because I was poor.
Not that they were bad, but she was
Just-
she sent us to the store during class.
Oh,
and
Get off
that's
my
awesome.
car.
yeah, stuff
That's
like that.
amazing.
That's hilarious.
It's
That is
illegal.
awesome. It's illegal.
Yeah.
Is that why you really got into real estate?
No. You know what? Back then, everybody knew it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't
Yeah,
a secret. You
right.
could never do it today.
Right.
No, she retired from teaching the year we graduated, and I always laugh and say it's because we were the best class. And,
Yeah.
Just
It's
finished.
so she
yeah.
had to go out with that.
Yes,
That
we
is-
were back. Mandy's class was back-to-back state champions.
In
Yeah.
debate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really
That's
don't.
awesome.
Do not debate. Don't.
Don't debate with
Do
them.
not.
Don't debate.
I'm serious. Hit me if that happens.
Yeah. So,
Holy
but
cow.
yeah. So then after nannying, she got me a job at a real estate company she was working with, and I started as the secretary. And I was going to school to be a teacher, and in the middle of that, she said, "Do you want to do that? Why don't you come and do real estate?" So we talked about it, and that's how it all started. Then I came and worked for her, got my license, and
That is
Started
awesome.
out
It-
with her.
Okay, what year was that you got your license?
that was 2003.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have been through a lot.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years for men,
Holy cow.
23 for me.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Wow.
yours can drink and yours
Yours-
can't.
Yep.
Exactly.
I like it. I like
That's
it.
right.
I like it. I'm waiting for that. I got like 3 more years. I'm there. So
I got a ways, but
yeah,
I'll
but-
get there one day.
But you're an Olympian, so
Oh,
you,
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But then Mandy went on her own for a while, as every good buyer's agent should. And then about 8 years ago, is that we decided?
Yeah.
We got together and decided that we needed to be equal, fabulous partners. So and in the meantime, Mandy had married Brian. And so she's now Lee. And
So you guys aren't related.
No.
nope.
That
It
is
just
so
was
funny.
a really good marketing
Just
plan.
I
Yes,
like it.
yes.
That's a perfect.
Yes.
Let Brian know.
Yeah.
He knows.
I was searching for a Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, how long have you been married?
We've been married 13 years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Kids?
We have 4. We're a blended family.
Oh, cool.
So he had 3 and I had 1.
Okay.
Awesome.
So
Are-
4 together.
How ages? Just
The oldest is 27, and then 24, 20, and 18.
what
Wow.
the-
And despite how young and beautiful Mandy is, she is a grandma.
Yes, I'm 3.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brian's oldest daughter has 3 boys. It's the best thing ever.
I bet.
I bet that's
Yeah.
busy.
Yes. Yeah, she's so busy.
I think that's the shock of the moment.
Yeah.
I had no clue. That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun.
So do you go by grandma?
They call me Mimi because
Mimi.
they have a lot of grandmas, but it's funny. Sometimes they'll even say Grandma Mimi. I don't mind what they call me. It's
Doesn't
the cutest
matter.
thing. In fact, we'd said from the very beginning, okay, it's going to be Mimi. And then Nico, the oldest, the first time, he just said, Grandma. I melted, and I was like, you can call me whatever you want.
Aw.
Yeah, it's the cutest thing ever.
That is
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
We
it's fun.
family's very important. So I'm all for families.
Mhm.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I keep cutting you off, so
No, you're good.
Keep going with who you are and
That's about me. And
You forgot
Yeah.
pickleball.
oh yeah, pickleball. Me and my husband are big pickleball addicts.
Mm.
We have an indoor facility that we opened 3 years ago.
the
What's
barn?
the name of
The
it?
shed.
The shed.
Oh,
I was close.
Close.
The shed.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I didn't
so
know you guys opened that.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we were the first ones to open an indoor in Utah.
And now it's
there
just
are
blown up.
lots.
There's that
Yeah.
big one down south.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any others.
There's
a
quite a
ton.
few. Yeah. Yeah, but we love it. It's a big hobby of ours, and my husband basically does that full time now. He retired from his real job, and
Which
that's
was
he
what?
does. He worked for T-Mobile for 20 years.
Good for
Okay.
him.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
and we do investments too. So he manages all of our rental properties.
Man, that's
So
power couple.
Seriously.
yeah,
100%. That's
Yeah.
cool.
yeah, it works out.
I will say I'd beat you at pickleball.
Okay. The challenge is on. It's
You
on.
better be careful who you're challenging. You might want to say you could beat me. But I would like to see you play, Mandy.
I have never played before.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Well, we have an intro to pickleball
play?
once a month.
I've played it,
I'm
and
there.
I've said the
You need
same
to come.
thing
I'm not
to my
even kidding.
grandparents before, and they absolutely whooped
Destroyed you.
our butts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
You would never think,
no,
right?
yeah,
And
That's the beauty of it.
yeah.
Mhm.
that's at the shed.
Yes.
Okay, where's the shed?
We're in Taylor, so 4300 West.
Beautiful.
2139.
Do you live in West Haven?
I live in Syracuse.
Okay,
Mm.
Syracuse, so it's not
But-
too far.
Taylor's where the family farm is.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you guys saw the Duluth one
Uh-huh.
that we did. That
Yeah.
was in Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Love Taylor.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna start, and
like
I'm
it.
pretty sure I'll beat anyone. It doesn't matter.
You're just that athletic.
Yeah.
but- no. Oh
So I
my
wanna
Don't
see
God.
you
hurt
play
yourself
Maddie.
out there.
Speaking
Um,
of athletic.
Maddie's I think you got reach on me. I'm gonna be honest.
Maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
your long arms would come in handy in the
Yeah,
net.
yeah.
I'm
I just know that there's so many ways to spin the ball. Like, it's a lot more strategic than.
Well, what's funny is people think that is like the big thing. If I can spin the ball, but that's more what beginners like try to do.
Mm.
I mean, people do spin the ball when you get up higher levels, but that's not. You can't do that much with a pickleball.
Right.
So tennis is a lot different. You know, there's other paddle sports that when you spin the ball, it's really hard. Pickleball, it's not. It's not as hard.
so it's just placement.
Yeah, it's all about placement and
Okay.
it's about getting to the net. It's not.
Ooh.
It's not slamming.
Yeah, it's not
Right.
slamming. It's about getting to the net. Like that's what's so addicting. There's 60 shot rallies because if you get to the net and you can keep it dinking, it's crazy.
Huh.
You speed it up, slow it down, speed it up, slow it down.
It's really quick. It's the craziest thing. So I grew up with a sports court. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys know what
yeah.
that is. Okay, no one knew what that was when I was a little kid. Like it was crazy. And we had a full basketball hoop, and we had a tennis net, but it came with these weird paddles and this weird ball. We never knew what it was, and now I know what it is.
Really?
Yeah.
It was pickleball.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Did you know how it was named? Or at least this is what I heard on the radio. So correct me if it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. I bet you're right. I'm going to bet you're right.
Let's spit knowledge to the pickleballs. That's awesome.
It's from.
That's gutsy.
No, it's to you. Not.
Oh,
She's
She probably
asking
knows,
you.
yeah.
She's
Oh.
asking
Yeah.
you.
do I know how?
Do you know
pickleball?
how pickleball was named?
Kosher came up with it?
It was their dog. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the dog was named Pickle, and it would
Pickles.
always steal the ball. So they named it Pickleball.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a
Yeah.
true
Is
story.
that's
Yeah,
true?
that's a true story.
Okay. We just can't have liars on this.
I agree.
I'm just teasing.
Your turn,
Tell us
Lori.
about
Lori's
you.
turn.
How do I even go? I grew up a cowgirl. I rode horses. And have wonderful family, wonderful sisters who all know how to cook and clean. And I followed my dad around the barn and drive a tractor, but I can't cook a meal to this day. So that became my love of animals. I'm a cowgirl by heart.
Where did you grow up? Sorry.
Pleasant View.
Oh, so
Took
where?
me 25 years to get back to my mountain, but yes,
That
yes.
is
My father
awesome.
was a contractor.
Okay.
Built our home up there in Pleasant View when I was
Wow.
3, and there were only 3 other homes up there. The Mile Hill 500 West by Weber High was a dirt road with ditches till I was 11.
Wow.
Holy cow.
So yeah, so the growth up there has been crazy.
I'm
But
sure.
that's where I played orphan and rode my horses, and there was nothing up
Huh.
there at all.
Oh.
Weber High, well, was Weber High? No, Weber High wasn't there
No, Weaver High was.
because my oldest sister was the first graduating
Yeah.
class from the new Weber High.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
So-
crazy. Weaver High Warriors.
Yes, yep. Ogden Tigers and Weber Warriors.
The only time I ever got kicked out of a game
Was it Weber High?
was at Weaver High.
Nice, nice.
I didn't like them.
Oh, who were you? Wait, who were you? What,
Viewmont.
High school? Viewmont. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were in the same region for while I was in high school. So we played every sport twice a year with them, and it was brutal.
Even more beautiful than Bountiful Braves.
I don't know who that is.
Exactly, exactly.
No, but okay. Sorry.
No,
keep-
you're so good. I don't know if I want to share my whole story.
Don't make me
That's okay.
cry. Is all
Okay.
I ask.
Okay, I know, but how much of that are you gonna? So I was married to an amazing man.
Mhm.
We have 3 beautiful children. My daughter Samantha is going to be 28 this month, and Sammy is the best of all of us, but Sammy doesn't walk or talk or sit or feed herself. She was born with a rare brain disorder. She wasn't supposed to live till she was 2, but nobody told Sammy. And she's seriously the best of all of us. She is awesome. And then I have twin boys, and they are 3 years younger than Sammy. Mandy watched both of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Mandy a shout out. Mandy has a special needs brother that went to school with her, and Mandy was everything at high school, as you can imagine, and cheerleader, right?
Yeah.
Cheerleader and everything, and her cute Chris, her younger brother Chris, was all of her friends took him everywhere, and
Aw.
her heart is as big as Texas as far as that. So she's helped me with my little Sammy, and her daughter Riss
Aw.
has helped with Sammy at times as
Oh,
well.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, we're connected on lots of different levels.
That's really
And
cool.
then she took care of my crazy boys when they were teeny. And our family would go to Lake Powell, and Mandy and her friends would stay at my house with my sons. So I taught at Ogden High for 13 years. That was my first true love. When you asked me this one time, when Sammy started first grade, I kind of had a panic attack that somebody else would get her dressed and in her wheelchair and on the bus, and I would be in first period with my seniors.
Yeah.
And that maybe was one of the meanest things I've ever done, because they hire all the good teachers, so to speak, in April before, and I decided 2 weeks before school started that I couldn't go back. And I was on the English curriculum state board. I was the student government advisor. I did debate,
Holy cow.
and I walked away and left the high school probably in a lurch, but it's what I needed to do
Yeah.
Right.
for my daughter.
I mean, you have
And,
to take care of your family.
one of my best friends, Heidi Anderson, is married to Ralph Anderson, who was a big deal in real estate. Ralph was the first person to really do all the external advertising. He drove a yellow Hummer and had his for sale sign on the back of the yellow Hummer when nobody advertised or did anything
Right.
like that. He was Rookie of the Year. He won every award at Coldwell Banker. And we were having dinner one night when I was trying to decide what to do. And he said, come be my listing coordinator. You can work 3 days a week and make more than you do as a teacher. So I quit my profession and was his listing coordinator for 18 months. And then he left to sell timeshares at Marriott in Park City. And I didn't have my license. So I was in a sink or swim
Ooh.
situation
Yeah.
because I'd just given up my career.
Right.
And so I got my real estate license and worked under Ralph. And for the real estate industry, the irony to that, I tell Ralph all the time he should come back and be a coach because I was his listing coordinator and had my license. Ryan Ivey, you've heard that name, of
Yeah.
course.
Mhm.
Ryan was a buyer's agent. Joe Holden
Oh, yeah.
was a buyer's agent, and Gerald Ivey was Ralph's buyer's agent. So all four of us were buyer's agents for Ralph under the same.
And
Wow.
Gerald is Ryan's dad?
Ryan's brother.
Ryan's brother.
Ryan's older
okay.
brother.
Yeah, okay.
And so all of us have had a good career in real estate, and
Yeah.
Ralph taught
Oh,
us
my
all.
gosh.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Just-
so I worked for Ralph for quite a few years. I mean, not quite a few, but enough.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't have my license. I was just his listing coordinator, and they were the three buyers agents.
Yeah.
And then I got my license and worked on my own for a while and created a team, and Mandi was part of that. And then the market crashed, and everybody's team dissipated.
Yeah.
In 2010, my husband passed away of a heart attack playing basketball. And so real estate probably saved my life in that way as well, because as a single mom with 3 children, I was able to balance kids and a job and raising my children alone. I never missed a lacrosse game or
Wow.
a theater performance or one of Sammy's doctor appointments, which is the greatest opportunity besides the financial. That's a bigger opportunity that real estate has allowed us, Mandi as well, to have a life but be moms.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, that's when Mandi and I kind of started to talk about getting back together, because we quickly realized real estate's a 24/7 job, and your clients deserve that. They don't really care, and I don't mean that but this is the biggest purchase
Right.
or sale of their life, and they need to know that you're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nobody can work 24/7, and we wanted our clients to be taken care of. So how do you do that? You create a team,
Right.
and that's
You have
what
to
Mandi
lean
and
on
I did 8 years ago.
Is it just you two, or do you have a team that behind the scenes?
So we have an assistant, and then my stepson just got his license. He's still up at USU Eastern, but he's going to be helping us in.
And he can
in the
come 'cause
summer,
he's a
and
Lee.
He can,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a Lee, so he fit
He
right in. I
fits.
mean, that's a requirement if you're on our team.
I'm gonna say I'm about
First
about to
question
be-
during the interview.
Exactly.
I'm about to be
exactly.
adopted and name changed 100%.
So I do have to tell you that 2 years ago I met an amazing man. Michael will have been has been passed away 13 years this month, and not quite a year ago, but 8 months ago I married Chris Cave,
Yes.
and it's a fabulous new
Yes.
beginning of our life, and we are so happy.
That's so
So
cool.
They're a perfect match.
I teased and said this Christmas last year I had 4 stockings on my mantle, and this year I had 12.
Ooh.
In 1 year.
just
They
tripled
grow.
it.
Just tripled it.
That-
My son got married, so I have
Yeah.
a beautiful daughter-in-law, and then Chris and his children. So I just wanted to I didn't want to leave Chris out because he's a very
Absolutely
important part
not.
of who we are.
100%.
so-
And Chris, so you have 3,
I have 3.
and he had
3.
3,
Mhm.
and then you had one that got married.
I have one that got married, and he has 2 grandchildren. And 2 one that's engaged and one that's married.
Okay.
So there's our 12.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is
Amazing.
so cool.
So cool.
So you
Yeah.
you guys both have big
And we're so
families.
lucky
Yeah.
because our husbands like each other.
Yes. Yeah, we
So
get to
much.
hang out with them now
Perfect.
too.
We do.
That is
We
good.
do.
That
We
is
can't
good.
travel together because we have to be home
Yeah.
for our clients. That's the only hard part about being
Yeah.
friends and business partners.
100%. Yeah.
Somebody has to stay home.
No,
Right.
I
Or we
get
don't
it.
have our speech that we can say that somebody's already available.
No, it's true. My dad was a business partner with his brother, and they could never travel together. So yeah, I get that completely. Yeah, none of my wife's friends like me, so
Whatever.
I'm in
I
trouble.
doubt
I don't
that.
believe
I'm in
that for
trouble
a
with
minute.
that. So but that's the dynamic is cool. That's a
Mhm.
really cool dynamic, and we'll touch on that later. But
Yeah. Well, I do gotta know. You guys like absolutely outperformed last year, and it was during a downturn. Really, it was a down year,
It was a
wouldn't
down-
you say?
Mhm.
Also, to throw some stats in, for a monthly average of a seasoned agent who's been producing for 5 years, averages in the nation 4.4 closings a month. You guys are double that. You're at 8.42 per month, which is just amazing. You absolutely crush it and grew last year. How did you do that?
I think a big thing is motivating each other
Mhm.
and being there for each other. That's a big reason why we wanted to create the team, is always having somebody to hold us accountable for each other. We hold each other accountable, and also staying consistent. You know, no matter what the market is, I think it's really important to stay consistent and stay in front of your clients and in front of your sphere always. So we just adjust to the market, you know. I work with a lot of investors, so it's great when the market is, you know, even if it's down, they're buying stuff.
Yeah.
And when the market is good, there's still deals out there. You can still find stuff. So
That's good to know. I don't think a lot of people understand
yeah,
that.
Right.
I don't think that they do.
Yeah.
But there are still deals. I mean, real estate is the best investment you can make. It's all, even if you buy at a higher price in a couple years, you're going to make that up. You know, my husband told me that years ago, because he bought his first rental property when he was 17.
Whoa.
Yeah.
His mom had to go sign.
I was like, it's not even legal.
Yeah. He actually did seller finance.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's
when he was
brilliant.
when he was
amazing.
17.
Whoa.
So I mean, and he's been through, you know, every market too. And if you hang on to stuff, you're gonna make your money.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I think one of our successes too is the fact that this is our life and our career. It is full time. We don't do anything else. It's our passion, and that makes a difference too. Plus, you do have to be patient. So one of the reasons that 22 worked for us is we have a project that we literally have been working on for 7 years that finally came to fruition. And there were many times that we talked about, do we hang on? Do we walk away? Do we stick with this? And, you know, I think a lot of times because the media shows you or whatever, people think that real estate's a get rich quick business.
Right.
And it's not. It's relationship building, and you need to be willing to. I remember Ralph said to me, Ralph Anderson, who was my mentor that I worked for, I was panicked one time and called him and said, what am I going to do? You know, how am I going to make this close? Give me some advice. And he said, you know what, Lori, here's what you need to know. And I said, what? Because I'm kind of emotional. And he said, it'll either close or it won't. And I wanted to punch him in the face because I'm like, but it's the truth. You need to not get attached. You need to just keep working because they're not all going to close, and you're going to have hard deals. Brian said to us once that, tell him what he said.
Well, we were dealing with a difficult deal and
Really
client.
difficult, yeah.
And he said, you know, if you didn't have clients like this, you wouldn't be in business.
True.
Because
The more
they need you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and the more business you have, you're going to have good and bad and
Right.
hard, and so you have to appreciate that. Mandy's really good at gratitude every morning, and you have to appreciate the and it's a people business. You're here to. It's hard sometimes when the market's bad not to get attached to your commission, but you can't get commission breath.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we've given that up a lot of years ago, and it's really about. We just did a listing presentation and told the client that, you know, our goal is at this point in our career, everything's referral based pretty much. So
cool.
even if we sell
That is-
with you, if you're not happy and you don't tell 5 people, Mandy and I haven't done our job.
Right.
That
That's way.
oh, sorry. That's so impressive.
I have a correction to make too, I believe.
About time.
This is
You made a mistake,
I did. Well,
or I did.
this is per year. 4.4. The average is per year, 4.4 closings. And they're at 8.4 per month. Yeah.
I was going to say to you, I think
Yeah.
you're off a
Yeah,
little.
just a little off.
Wait, whoa, okay, wait.
This is a year.
So 4.4 a year. Is
For
that
a
for a
seasoned,
seasoned
agent
agent.
who's been producing for 5 years. And they're selling
Utah? It says Utah's 5
per year.
per year.
And
you
they're at 8.4 per month crazy. That is just
It
amazing.
does sound crazy.
Sometimes we lose track.
Well, I think what you both just said is that's not what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not here to keep track.
Yeah.
You're here to help people.
Yeah.
What you both said was consistency and passion.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me, I guess my question for you with that would be, can you be successful without either one of those?
I don't think so.
No.
No, I think you'd get burned out if you didn't.
It's
love it
hard.
and
It's
you
a hard
didn't-
industry.
Right.
I like, so new agent coming in, I think is that the advice you'd give them, is be passionate and be consistent?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, that to me is out of everything you just said, that kind of is the one that just like, whoa, okay, that's,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome that
Mhm.
not very many people can do that.
Right.
Well, and I think you need, especially in our world today, I shouldn't say this because this is what we're doing, but social media and stuff is a drag. I mean, it's
It's a drag.
comparison is the thief of joy, but it is.
It
So,
is, yeah.
you know what? We're not going anywhere. So that's probably Mandy and I's one of our biggest strengths together, not for our clients necessarily, but together is we're not going anywhere. So we have to figure out how to make it work.
Right.
And we're going to, because
Mhm.
kind of like we're not going to ever not be a team. We're not ever going to leave real estate unless we're leaving on an island in 20 years. But you know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
So
right.
7% of the population moves at any given time.
Mhm.
Divorce, death, weddings, job
Well,
change.
say that stat again. I have not heard this one.
7% of the population moves at any given time. Death, divorce, weddings, job change. It just happens. And we tend to focus on all of those that aren't buying, but
Mhm.
there's 7%. So which agents are going to get that 7%?
Right.
It's always there, no matter what the interest rate or what the world is. Some
That's
people
an
have
amazing-
to move
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah.
7%.
Uh-huh.
Holy cow. That's a big number.
It is a big number.
There's plenty of business to go around then.
Absolutely, there is.
Holy cow.
But, you know, we're the 80-20 rule.
Right.
Still, 20% of the agents do 80% of the work.
But because I think they do feel like it's a get rich quick, or
Yeah.
they
Or
want
you're
it to
not
be easy.
consistent. Yeah,
Yeah.
they want it to be easy. It's not easy.
And they're
No.
not passionate about it, like you mentioned. And
Yeah. If
You
you,
have
don't,
to be
if you don't
passionate.
like it, I think it shows for
Right.
sure. to
Yeah.
I mean, clients can feel that
Yeah.
if
Right.
you're not, if you don't want to be there.
mm-hmm.
late at night on a weekend showing a home.
No, late at night on the weekend getting the call in the middle of the movie.
Right.
You know, because
Yeah.
for the most part, they're no respecter of your real estate time.
Mhm.
Right.
They want you when they want you.
Yeah. And
And that can be draining.
it can. And knowing that.
So I just say, oh, you know what, I'm busy, call Mandy. But we have that beauty where if we're exhausted,
Yeah.
We do, and this last year we did. There was times where Lori would say, "I'm going to a movie. I'm shutting off my phone. Will you answer the phone? I'm going to put my number in." Yep. Same thing. I'm going to dinner. I'm shutting off my phone.
I
Will
need
you
to
answer
breathe
the
for a
phone?"
minute. I need to
Mhm. Yeah.
focus.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Because you have families, you have
do.
lives and people don't understand that when they're.
They don't care
On the other
because,
side.
as I said,
Yeah.
it's the biggest. They're panicked. They need some
Mhm.
reassurance.
Yeah.
It's
It's a big deal for
it is a
people.
big deal.
Right.
To have a good team is priceless at that,
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
sure. That's awesome. So I don't know what question you have next. Will you tell me what question it is, and I might stop you and be like, I have another one.
It's the cherry in the pit.
Okay, hold on really quick, because I want to hit this dynamic thing.
Okay.
So I want to know, how different are you guys?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, we're different and similar
Mhm.
in different things.
I think probably our I mean, if you're talking personally or I mean,
Any way you want to take
okay, I'm
it.
18 years older than Mandy right there.
Okay.
So that's a big difference. We have a difference in religion. It's probably our only two differences. No, Mandy is, can I say this? I guess you could add to
You
that.
can say whatever you want.
If you want to say it in positive or negative terms, I'm going to go negative. I'm a wimp. I would give you, I want everybody to like me. And so here you can just have all my commission as long as you'll
Whoa.
be nice to me.
You keep
I
her in
have to call
check.
Mandy and say, will you make this phone call for me? Because I really can't. I seriously get anxiety
Yeah.
and I can't. Mandy is very good at, and I don't want to sound like she's meaner, but it's a perfect balance, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to business that way.
Yeah.
Because she can make some of the hard calls that make me physically
Mhm.
sick.
Well, that's why you taught her in debate class.
Yeah. I mean, she taught me that. She doesn't
Yeah.
know it, but she's the one that taught me
But
that.
do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons we're so successful in business is
Mhm.
Um, Mandy doesn't notice if I get a haircut, and
I was gonna say Lori's very good at the details. I am not a
Okay.
detailed person. Like I said, I don't notice when people change the color of their hair. I don't notice if the room is painted a different color. So she's really good at pointing that stuff out and taking care of a lot of the details. And even like thank you notes to people. I just don't always remember to do that stuff. And she's one of the most giving people you'll ever meet, first of all. And so she always
why you like
remembers
me.
that stuff. She always remembers to send the flowers and the gifts and the thank yous and all those little details.
Well, it is crazy that, in fact, I think you told me when I was going through some rough stuff for a minute, you told her that something's going on with him.
I did, didn't I? He
Yeah,
tells
she
me.
picks up on that stuff
That's-
for sure.
I said Bryce is
crazy.
not the same. Something's going on in his life.
Yeah.
And you nailed it on the head. That's crazy. That's a talent
It is.
for sure. But I will say, so is yours, because not very many people.
Well, and
can
Mandy's
do that.
amazing and compassionate, all
Yeah.
of that.
Oh no, for
I
sure.
mean, that's why I'm saying
but
I don't
to
want
be able to have both sides,
Yes,
to be
yes.
compassionate and be able to say, "Hey, listen, it's a hard conversation. We're gonna."
I would get walked
Yeah.
on. Mandy, I guess that's the best way to help it. Mandy helps me not to be walked on.
Right.
So it's not, it's a strength, not a weakness
But I mean,
for her.
yeah. Well, obviously, because if you didn't have any clients because of it,
Right.
you're obviously very good at that.
Yeah.
Like you guys have a lot of clients.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna ask. You have a first-time home buyer coming to you. Who's taking it?
We both.
It
I mean,
doesn't
we
matter.
both take
Wouldn't
it.
matter.
Yeah,
Whoever
it
wants
probably.
to.
Yeah, it probably depends on like
What our week looks like,
the
what our
day,
schedule
yeah.
is, or both of us take it.
Yeah, sometimes we both.
You know, Mandy's
tackle
like,
it.
I have pickleball tonight, and I say, well, I'm playing in a league tomorrow. I mean, we really can balance.
And there's some,
That's
you know, maybe even personality wise that I'm like, hey, I think that you would do better with these people,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and vice versa.
Mhm.
that's super cool.
That's what makes you such a great team, you know?
See, to me, that's if in a profession like real estate, if I'm coming to literally have the biggest purchase of my life, or to sell and potentially make amazing equity and really a six-figure deal is what we're talking about here, right? Or even seven-figure. I would want to go to a team that I know no matter how I'm acting, someone can take care of me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's you guys.
Yeah.
That's definitely the dynamic I get from you two. And I think that is the most powerful thing you guys have.
Mandy keeps me grounded. I will call and say, okay, here's what the client said. I need to walk away. And Mandy will say, okay. No, seriously, she'll because I'm emotional.
Yeah.
And I take everything to my heart.
Mhm.
And she's like, seriously, Lori. But it's a really nice balance that
Yeah.
way.
And it can't be overstated for
Mhm.
sure. I think that
And
is-
besides the fact that we obviously love each other,
Right.
we have the utmost respect, I think, for each other. And probably one of the most important things, I think, for me, I can't speak for Mand, but I think she's going to, is there's not anybody I would trust. Not even, I don't mean that, but in a business sense, that I would
Oh,
trust
for
more
sure.
than Mandy.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. Or you couldn't do this,
No.
right?
No, you could. The dynamic you have, especially with what the numbers you shared with me out in the out in the lobby there, you either jealousy is going to come in, greed's going to come in. The fact that you guys don't let any of that outside stuff happen
Mhm.
is amazing. I mean, that is just. I'm not that way. I'm going to be honest. Like my wife wants to divorce me all the time.
Whatever.
So
I think a lot of people told us when we were creating the team, you know, partnerships don't last.
Yeah.
they don't.
They don't last. And that was one of our biggest things. Is what we took from that was, well, we need to make sure that we have every scenario that could even happen talked about and in writing so that we know.
We made up funny things. What if your buyer died? And
Mhm.
literally because expectations are what kill a relationship.
Yes.
Right.
And I don't think we have that jealousy. I don't know, because I know good teams have done that before, and very few teams stay together.
I was going to say,
And it usually is money driven.
yeah.
Right.
It usually is.
I mean,
And I think because we're both so grateful, me especially, because my life sometimes is tricky with what we've gone through. I don't care. I mean, you do care. But no, I don't care. The fact that I knew my clients were taken care of when my daughter was in the hospital for 6 weeks, or there's not a price you can put on that.
Right.
And knowing that I would, maybe here's the balance, that at some point I would be able to pay Mandy that back as well.
Mhm.
Whether it was something that, concerning that she had in her family, or whether, It's
I was
just
on
she
a
wanted
vacation.
to take 6 weeks of vacation. There's no resentment because we have each other's back. So,
Yeah.
and it absolutely equals out, which we did not anticipate. It's fascinating
That's cool.
how time, and sometimes it takes a minute, but
Mhm.
time and even our commissions, somebody might make more one month. We share some of the things in different ways, but at the end of the year, it's so close it would kind of be freaky if you saw how
I
close
think
it
that's
is.
That's
really cool.
awesome.
Uh-huh.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, can we jump into the
Yes.
cherry and pit?
Sorry, I had to hit that. I think that's super cool.
Have
guys.
you either of you heard of cherry and pit?
I had not heard of it, but it makes sense.
Yes.
So
yes.
it is a game
understand
that
it.
we always played as a family at
Okay,
the dinner
nice.
table.
Okay.
So
like
you-
for your day?
Mhm.
Okay. I
Yeah,
like
so you
it.
share the best and worst part of your day. For you, we're gonna do of your career,
Okay.
and then we have to add in funniest moment.
Okay,
Too.
we do in my family, high, low, and buffalo.
Okay.
The same
Oh.
thing. High, low, and buffalo is anything you want. So I'm with you.
I like that.
I'm gonna let Mandy go first because mine probably will segue into
What are
hers.
we starting with? The
Your funniest,
funniest?
memory.
Yeah. What's your funniest memory
Mhm.
in your career?
I feel like this is more funny to everyone else.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But Lori tells the story to everyone, and so does my husband. I had only been in the business probably, well, as an agent, probably like a year, maybe. Do you think?
Maybe.
Maybe not even
Yeah.
a year. And was going to show a house at night. And I always would go to the house first and unlock it and make sure all the lights are on before anybody gets there. And this one was vacant. So I went early, got there, went to open it, put, now I can't remember if I put if it was the key that I was missing. Yeah,
Mhm.
I didn't have my actual key because back then it was like a little key fob thing that you had to open. It wasn't your phone that you
Oh.
had to open the key box with.
Okay.
And so I had shut the door.
We've been in the business a long time.
Yeah. I had shut the door and realized I needed to go back to the car and get it to lock it, and I had put my got my pants stuck in the door. And I didn't have a key to
Oh
open
my
the door.
gosh.
Or a phone.
Or a phone.
Oh,
No phone. I didn't have my phone with me. So I'm trying to get it out, but I had literally just bought these pants. And I'm like, I did not want to rip these pants. And I was like young and, just spent money on these pants. So it wasn't, it was a big deal. So I debated on how I was going to do this. And I looked at the time. I'm like, okay, I think they're not going to be here for another like 10 minutes maybe. So it was dark. And this was it was in Pleasant View where I live now.
But you were on Alberta Drive.
It was on Alberta
You
Drive.
weren't on
It was a busy road, but not as busy as it is now.
Okay, but it was a busy road.
So I made the quick decision, not so smart, to just slide my pants off, run to my car as fast as I could, get the key, come back, unlock it, and put my pants back on.
Oh my
oh
gosh.
no.
That
that
is
was awesome.
hilarious.
The best part
goodness.
is she called to tell me, and then she says, "Don't tell anybody." And of course, the next morning I had to tell
You
my
tell
broker.
everybody.
No, I just told the broker. I
Everybody.
just told the salesman. I didn't tell one person.
So
But I didn't get caught. That I
that
know
was
of.
that was giving
That
my
I know of.
well, if someone did catch you, they're cool for not like
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and that was
There's
back
no
before
doorbell
cell phones and
cameras.
videos and
Yeah,
doorbell
there was no
cameras.
social
It was
media.
a whole different world then,
that
right?
would have
Yeah.
blown
Oh
up.
my
Yeah, no
gosh.
way I'd do that today. But no, Lori told the broker, and then he came in the next
Was
day.
that Lynn?
Yeah. And said, hey, he was the mayor at the time also.
Mayor
of
North Ogden.
Oh.
Lynn Mirabreck. He's
Yeah.
past since, but he was our broker. Yeah.
So he
Wow.
came in and said, hey, he was dead serious. And I was young and naive at this point and said,
A brand new agent.
yeah, brand new. I got a call from the city, a complaint about an agent. And I was like, oh no. And then he couldn't even he couldn't even keep a straight face.
No.
He just cracked
That's
up.
That is so
Is that
funny.
awesome?
I mean, you seem like a lighthearted person. Like that, it didn't affect you. Like
No,
I'm-
I was laughing to myself, like literally. I was
Yeah.
I was dying because it was so funny. But
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that would be like for me, I'd been like,
If he called you in, you mean? Or if you
no,
had to
like
take your pants
No,
off?
if that happened, like that's like a 127-hour type thing for me. Like, what am I cutting off right now?
you would just rip your pants right now.
100%, 100%. That is
Not when you
awesome.
dress as cute as Mandy. You're gonna rip your
That's
pants.
true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That is awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
That so that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't had my daughter yet or anything.
No,
So,
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What would you say the cherry is?
So I was thinking about this, and I think the cherry for me, I had a client that was in his 50s that had never bought a home. And this was, gosh, it had to have been probably, I think it was right around when you and I joined his team, maybe like 8 years ago. And he had called me, and I think he got my name off of like a sign or something, so I didn't know him. It wasn't a referral. Started helping him, and he only qualified for like 60,000, but I was happy to help him. We found him a house, and he, to this day, I've helped $1 million buyers a lot, and he was the most gracious and the most grateful client I've ever had. He cried at the closing table. I mean, he was in his 50s and never owned a home. So it had been a dream, and he had been saving up his money for a long time.
Mm.
So I'll never forget that guy.
That's awesome.
Do you keep in touch by chance, or?
I still send him stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, still send him stuff. I haven't talked to him for
Yeah.
quite a while. He's still there. He's still
Is
in the
he
same
really?
house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow! So like right there, why you do real estate?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It was awesome.
That is awesome.
And to think too, he saved up until he was 50 to buy a house,
Mhm.
and it was priced around that range that he qualified
Yeah.
for. I can't imagine what it appraises for now. You're
Right.
building wealth for people. That's just so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That-
Mm.
it was pretty awesome.
that would be being a part of that. I don't know. I think that's probably the coolest part
Mhm.
of what you guys do.
Yeah.
Is seeing literally dreams come true,
Mhm.
right? Like it's not a metaphor. It is 100%. You guys are helping people have their dreams come true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like this guy, like I can't imagine being 50 and being to that point and saving the trial he went through. It's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Man, cool.
Do you want to do pit next, or should we?
Up to you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Finish
What?
up?
Yeah,
lead
what's
to the pit.
yeah the pit?
I would say probably for me, when the market went kind of crazy in 2008,
Mhm.
everything kind of went down, and it was scary. It was a scary time, and I had just started dating my husband now, so I had been a single mom, and working for myself and doing it on my own. And I said to him one night, I just remember breaking down and saying, I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I'm going to have to get out of real estate. I'm not making it. The market's turned. And he said, have you ever tried working with investors? And I'm like, well, not really. Like, I don't know any.
Yeah.
He's like, well, have you ever tried calling? And right then he named like 3 people that he knew of, because like I said, he started investing when he was 17.
Mhm.
And some of his friends and colleagues that have invested. And he said, let's call them right now. Let's call them and ask them if they'll
That's so cool.
invest. And so he called, put me on speaker, introduced me, and said, would you be interested if she found you something? And all of them said, absolutely. So that's how my niche of investors began.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And she has the same investors
And I still work with
that
those.
she called.
That is
Those
so
3
cool.
investors they called.
And they're,
That
yeah,
many
they're
years
some of
ago.
my biggest, best clients.
Wow.
Man, your husband sounds awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have him to thank for that,
I was
really.
gonna say, just his belief in you.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
As a husband, like I would hope I'd do the same for my wife. Like that's really cool to me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's my biggest supporter for sure.
So 2008, just that downturn was just the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Mhm.
Your turn.
Lori.
Spotlight's on you.
Oh, I don't know. Probably my funnest memory is Mandy. That it's hard to top that one. I mean, we all have probably, you show a house and somebody's naked on the bed, asleep, passed out drunk. You open and try to
No.
chill. Oh yeah.
No, you make that
absolutely.
sound like that's just
That's an everyday
that's
thing.
it's a normal Friday.
Not every day, but it
Just
happens.
throw a blanket over.
You just try to block your clients and
Yeah.
back out and hope they don't wake up.
Yeah.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah. So there's either they came home and didn't realize they had a showing, or the agent forgot to tell, or maybe they were drunk. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't stay long enough to find out.
Oh my
But yeah, that's
gosh.
happened more than once to you as well, right? Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't happened as
As
much,
much.
but it used to.
Yeah.
it used to. And maybe that has to do with like showing time and the way that things are different with
Yeah.
setting up
Right.
showings now. Like the
Yeah.
communication
Or they
maybe was
hear you
different.
come in on the camera, everybody has a phone, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah.
happened in the beginning a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, so to speak, a lot more than you wanted.
Yeah,
Right.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, once is more than I
Yeah,
want.
I mean, even now, well, I still, when I open the door, even if I have an appointment, lights are all on, and I know they know I'm coming, I yell
Mhm.
and say, hello.
Yeah.
More for, I mean, not that you want, but your clients. You don't want your clients
Right.
to be embarrassed because then
Right.
the showing's gone downhill
Mhm.
right there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't know that I have a best cherry memory as an agent. I mean, overall, helping people is what we do. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's satisfying pretty much every time. Probably, my father was a builder. He started his own company when he was 19. I tease and say there's always a builder-realtor conflict, and he never forgave me for being a realtor. But he he was an amazing, honorable, honest man. And I actually would start a couple, I think I have 3 that I have recorded in a journal that went to the listing appointment, started talking, tried to get establish a relationship. And the minute I said I was Ray Ward's daughter, I didn't have to finish. They said, you can have the listing. So trying to
Wow.
live up to that has been, and I had one agent, I had a for sale by owner, one of my clients that wanted to try on their own. And we always tell them, go ahead and try. If you can do it on your, I'm more honest, if you can do it on your own, awesome. But you probably can't, and you'll be sorry you did, but we support in whatever you want. And I actually had an agent call that said to me, I called this for sale by owner, that's what I do. That's how they got their business, was calling the FSBOs.
Yeah.
And he said, I told the guy I'd do it for 1%. And he said, no, Lori's my agent. And he's like, but it's for sale by owner. You don't have agency. You don't have anything signed by her. She's going to charge you 3. And he said, uh-huh. And the agent just said to me, I've never met anybody that said, I don't care what, if you'll do it for free, I'm staying with Lori.
Wow.
So that I felt like I had honored my dad in that
Absolutely.
loyalty. Not a lot of loyalty sometimes in this world. And
No.
I think our people, for the most part, are fairly loyal.
Yeah.
You have to work at that, though. That doesn't happen.
And it can go away too, right?
But that's what I
So-
meant. You have to work
Yeah,
at it. If
yeah.
I mean, there are times too that I've watched somebody else buy something. I'm like, that was my fault because I didn't keep up with my SOI, or I hadn't contacted them in the last couple of years. I can't be offended because I didn't maintain that. I mean, it's a lot of it is, that's why it's work. It
Yeah.
Right.
doesn't just happen,
Right.
Yeah.
because out of sight, out of mind, and especially in the market this last few years when it's been good. I think it was Dana Thompson that said you could swing a cat and hit a realtor in one of our sales meetings.
Yeah.
So,
True.
everybody knows somebody. So if you don't work and keep those
Exactly.
relationships, those relationships will be taken by somebody else.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have a pet?
My pet, I can absolutely tell you, I had worked with a couple, a couple that we worked forever together, and we became friends. They even had a cat that got stuck in the tree that was trying to kill a bird, and I'm not scared of stuff like that. So I rescued their cat and saved the baby bird. We had steaks together, and they called me and told me they weren't selling anymore, and sold the next day to a buyer that I had brought them.
Oh.
And again, my little heart.
Yeah.
It crushed me personally. I didn't care about, but how could you be my friend and do
Yeah.
that? That was my pit. I mean, you hear it in all your classes, and here's what can happen, and do this, but I had never had it happen to me, and I just shakes your faith in human nature for a minute.
Oh, I'm sure.
No.
I'm sure. Do you still communicate with them?
Oh, heavens, no.
Okay.
No. I mean, your choice there was, I mean, you had a buyer broker, so I could have sued him.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
For a
yeah.
listing,
100%.
but the negative, we believe, for the most part, the negative that comes along with that supersedes any monetary compensation that you get. You
Right.
just focus on the positive.
But she didn't have me at that time to at least call him and talk to him.
Yeah.
Mandy would have taken care of it, probably.
I have zero doubts, but that
But it kicks you in the gut because
Yeah.
it is emotional and personal, and you care.
Yeah.
And sometimes I care too much.
And I think some people don't realize, they just don't think, oh, they actually do this for a living.
Mm-hmm.
This is their job. Like, we're leaving our families at night and on weekends to go show homes and to do this. And I think people just forget that.
Right.
go ahead.
Well, with that, I guess, what does keep you going during the tough times and when you get kicked in the stomach and the changing markets?
I think our biggest strength is we're adaptable. I mean, I think truly our biggest talents is if we can't get A and B to work, we'll figure out D and E.
Right.
Cool.
We're creative. We think outside the box. We don't give up, and we care. So and we have. We wanted to touch on this. Maybe more than, I don't want to say other agents because I don't mean that as a negative, but our box of expertise is so large. I mean, Mandi is, and really in the last 8 years, would you say, since Jack? Mandy's an expert, as you can tell, 100% in investment properties. I mean, we're both amazing. I'm going to say that. We're both very knowledgeable. Maybe amazing is conceited.
No, nope. You're both amazing.
I'm not, yeah.
No, you're
we
both
both are
amazing.
good at what we do. How's that? As far as the residential buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say everybody can do that, but that's your general niche for us. Mandi is rock star. You can't beat her in investments. I have become, fortunately, through my dad and a couple of opportunities, land development and getting subdivisions through and that kind of thing. And then we've both become pretty proficient in commercial. So I feel like we have enough areas that if something goes down, Mandy's still going to do investors. We're doing right now, January's looking a little slow, as you probably know, in lending and title. February's looking a little slow. So we're hitting our land deals and our land people, Mandy's investors. So we don't just survive in one box.
Right.
And that is super important. Being adaptable is awesome.
Right.
But you also have to be willing to work harder and longer. We don't have a lot
of those deals take a long time.
Yeah, our one project, that we were saying saved us or was a big part of what we did last year. We literally had worked on it for 7 years.
That's dedication.
It really is.
That is.
But it was worth it. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. That's the builder you had up here
In North
that
Ogden.
Yeah. Okay.
Townhomes.
Did you guys finish that project?
We did.
That's awesome.
We did.
That is really cool. That's I do have to say, because it hits home for me really a lot. You guys both, it sounded like, were single moms at one point. Tell me how awesome it was when you could financially and emotionally and everything. It was you, and those checks were coming in. You were being successful. Tell me about that moment. Do you have that moment in your mind of I can do this. I got this.
Yeah, I think mine was after I had reached out to those investors and after I had closed the first one of those. I was like, okay, I got this. I can adapt and I can do this, and this is going to be my career for the rest of my life. Yeah, that was definitely a good feeling. Lori was single a lot longer than I was, so she's had to do it. I mean, she raised her boys being a single mom.
My boys were 11 and Sammy was 13 when their dad passed.
Wow.
And I've just been married 9 months. So it's been a bit of a journey. I think for me, a little bit different than Mandy's perspective because Mike's death was so sudden.
Yeah.
And putting everything together, I was so grateful. One, that I had always worked because so many of my cute widow friends had been stay-at-home moms, hadn't done the checks or the bills, and the fact that I had already established a business, was a teacher first, but had already established a business and knew how to do that, took such a stress off of me that was, I've always been so grateful that was one more piece that I didn't have to figure out. Does that make sense? But my boys, when they were little, they still tease me that, because your phone rings all the time. If it's not, but I always say to my boys, Kate would say, he's one of my twins, he would say to me, I know, Mom, you have to answer, because if the phone's not ringing, we're not making money. But it's the truth. So I think it also taught our children, because sometimes when you get a consistent paycheck, which is so beautiful, we don't live that world, but sometimes the kids don't see that you do have to give up sometimes too. You have to, you have to learn to be quiet for a minute because Mom's on the phone, but if she's not, we're not going to Disneyland or eating out, or eating dinner, but I think it really teaches kids. It was a lesson that you probably couldn't have taught another way.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't single, it teaches them that there are priorities and sometimes it's not about you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter was little when I was single like 2, and I'd take her a lot of the times on showings
Yeah.
and stuff, and her grandparents would always laugh because then she would go with them somewhere and she'd be like, "Oh, look at that light! Oh, look at this!" You know, because
Yes.
she's used to me seeing stuff in
Yes.
houses. So
Yeah.
she's
She
always
would
been a
start
little
selling
mini,
the houses.
yeah,
for
realtor.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
I
Yeah,
love that.
it means a lot to me that you guys have gone through that kind of stuff personally.
Mhm.
So I think that's really, really cool. And people I think should know how awesome you guys are. And you are.
Thank you.
So
Thanks.
the niche is definitely, you would say, investors for you, land development for you. Is if you had to say one niche right now.
No, we can do it all.
Oh, I love it.
That's what I'm
Love it.
telling you, and I
I
don't mean
love
that, but
Yeah,
we
but you
don't
truly can.
we don't have a specific niche. We have something we're maybe a little more expert in. You know, if I have an
Or
investor
that
call.
we do more
Well, and
of.
here's the positive about the two of us, because nobody can do it all, right?
Right.
Whatever you want to say, humble, grateful, whatever, which we both are. If I have an investor call, I'm not even going to pretend I know how. I do know a few things, but I
Right.
would say, you know what, here's so cool. You're going to have Mandy.
Mm-hmm.
Mandy, a commercial person, calls me and says, I have this person that wants this commercial. Do we want it? Can we do it? Lori, tell me what we're going to do.
Yeah.
That's the beauty for ourselves,
Mhm.
but mostly for our clients is it's not one person trying to figure out, do I know how to do this?
Mhm.
But we're also not greedy, or we are seriously a team. So you take my investor, I'll take your commercial,
It all
and
works out.
it
Yeah.
all works out, and that takes a lot of stress off,
Good.
That's awesome.
right?
Yes, for sure.
Well, with us being in January, are you ready for 2023? Do you do business planning? Kind of what does that look like as you come into a new year?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
We planned, was it November? The 1st of November?
Mhm.
We sat down and kind of did a layout of our
Well, we did Closers Club,
business
Mhm.
plan.
so
Yeah.
that
Well,
took us,
helped.
that
Yeah.
helped.
Tell us what Closers Club is.
You want me to tell?
Yeah.
Something that Coldwell Banker offered,
Okay.
and you had to commit to 7 Mondays in a row, which is a lot, really a lot for us to,
Yeah.
to have both of us at the same place.
Mhm.
And if you missed one, they wanted you to not be in it.
Right.
And they just took you, it was a global, nationwide at least. I don't know if they went out of the nation, but
No.
offices, and we got to the end where, which is not my strength, as you already know by now, where we had to make 50 calls a week.
Holy
Like,
cow.
yeah, but you held accountable, and it made a difference. And then at
Mhm.
the end, you did your business plan for 2000. So it was just to help you. The goal was to get you to have, and we put it on our board. We have a board in our office if you ever wanted to come look,
I
of our
do.
goals and our what we choose, and we what am I trying to say? Adjust it. So I think Hannah had challenges to get at least 2 more listings
Mm-hmm.
before the end of the year, and 1 more buyer, and we knocked it out of the park.
Nice. Love
Didn't
it.
we?
Yeah.
In December,
Yeah,
we
December ended up being a good month.
yeah, we
That's
didn't get to do
awesome.
all of our holiday parties.
No
Our
kidding.
joke is, if you want more business, have Mandy go out of town.
Yes.
because,
It
because
always works.
Just yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Every
think
time
you're
I go
okay
out of
with
town,
that.
the phone starts ringing.
It's a
Yeah,
little crazy.
fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. She's leaving Saturday.
Yeah.
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 So hopefully that'll make February really good.
Nice.
Absolutely.
But no,
Absolutely.
it goal setting. Mandy's a rock star at it every day. You have your little morning routine and do your thing, and I mean, we all know that if you write it down, you're
Yep.
86% more likely to achieve it.
Yes, 100%. Law of attraction.
Mhm.
We like law of attraction, definitely.
Do you have any predictions or opportunities that you see in this market this year?
I'd like to hear predictions. I want to know what you guys think is going to happen. Rates, housing market. That's what I want to hear that, because I feel like you guys have been around the block. You kind of see things. What's your gut telling you?
I feel like the market is just leveling. We were getting out of control and too high too fast. And so I think, even though prices have technically dropped, they're just leveling out. And according to the economists that you read and watch and the classes that we've been to, it sounds like the interest rates are going to kind of level out and hopefully start dropping. Sounds like they will.
Yep.
So I think it will pick back up in the spring. I think buyers, it's a great opportunity right now because you're not competing.
Mhm.
And there's so many options with 2-1 buy downs and all of the lender options that are available that you can,
And sellers are finally willing to do something.
yeah, sellers are willing to negotiate. They're willing to help with closing costs or pay for the 2-1 buy downs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I think we're going to have a good year. I think people are going to be surprised.
Mhm.
I mean, we don't have a crystal ball, but we,
Right.
Yeah.
Or we'd be on that island already, right?
Well, I was gonna say, but I mean, you got 40 years combined, right,
Yeah.
between the two of you. So
Yeah.
it might not be a crystal ball, but it's knowledge,
Mhm.
right?
I agree 100% with Mandy, but I'm going to go back to what we said before. In 2008, we weren't working together at the time. She made her career and her success on investors. I went to, unfortunately, Barnes Bank for all the builders that fell apart, and I sold all of those for the banks.
Oh,
Did the foreclosures and figured out that market. So my answer to you is, even if the market doesn't adjust the way Mandy and I hope that it will, we're not going anywhere, and we'll figure it
you'll
out.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
So,
I'm blown away.
and I don't know if you want to put this on, so think about this, because I don't mean it in any disrespect, but the market's flooded
Mhm.
with title companies,
Oh,
lenders, and realtors.
100%.
So a lot of them, that this is not their serious career,
Mhm.
will go back to what they did. And Mandy and I actually do better in that kind of market, because right now everybody has a brother or sister, so we lose our onesies and twosies. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yes.
And I don't mean that I want people to leave or fail. That's not my point.
course.
But we're not going anywhere, so we often do
Better
even
in a
better in a
challenging-
down market.
Yeah.
I heard some crazy stats. I don't know them off the top of my head, but essentially, you take a look around the room at a sales meeting or something, and most of the agents won't be there in 5 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you have obviously surpassed that, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I think we had 800 people
Oh,
go
more than that.
inactive
More
in
than that.
October.
Oh, just-
Yeah, and just in October in
Yeah.
our board.
Is that when the dues had
No,
to be
they're
paid?
due in July. I don't know
Oh.
what.
I think there were
created
some
that.
due in October too.
Mhm.
But
There was something that created
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
That's when I think.
but again, not that we hope, but reality is reality.
Well, you hope that the ones that are business, that it's a business, it's their career, stay.
yes.
And the ones that got into it because their dad was selling a house or their brother or they saw quick money, those are the ones. The weeding out is always okay.
Mhm.
Well, and the thing is, debate teacher, I always have to look on both sides. But in deference to the people that got in the last 2 years, I mean, they don't even know what a time clause is or what a contingent
Right.
offer looks
Yeah.
like. So their learning curve, not their fault, or not that they're not working hard, but
They
they're
didn't negotiate inspections because there were no inspections.
yeah,
Yeah.
their
Right.
learning curve maybe forced them out, because this is a totally different business than it was this
Yeah.
time last year.
Yep.
Right.
Totally 100. So if you got in this time last year, you're going to be overwhelmed and exhausted, because it's nothing the same.
Yeah.
It's polar.
Even when it was really good, we were a little overwhelmed and exhausted because A and B didn't equal C, D, or E, and nothing made sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for those of us that have done it a long time, to tell your clients to waive their appraisal or give up their due diligence made me sick to my stomach. That is just not
Right.
what we. But if you didn't advise them or tell them here's your options, they didn't get the house. So it was even though everybody was making money,
Yeah.
it was an ugly market.
Oh, there's no such thing as perfect,
Yeah.
No.
right?
no.
Like there was definitely people saw the money, but they didn't know the cons,
Mhm.
and
Right.
those
We
were
still
some-
don't. We're going to see we're going to see.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I am.
It'll be interesting,
It's
that's
gonna
for
be.
sure.
It is.
Well, my last question really is, why the lead team? I think it's so evident after this conversation. You truly are so knowledgeable. You're both amazing people in business and with your families and friends. So thank you so much. But if you have any last words for why the lead team,
You're good at saying mottos.
Because we do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah, and to come back around just to the beginning of the conversation, because we're passionate about it. We love what we do,
Mhm.
and we care about our people.
We do 100%.
Is there anything else you guys want to touch on?
We appreciate you.
Oh my gosh, this
Yeah,
was
thank
so
you.
awesome.
You guys were great. Yeah.
But we
this was
appreciate
fun.
all you've done to support us, and even at sales meetings and all the. I don't drink coffee or I'd come down, but
we can do steamers. I think just a big thank you to you both.
Yeah, thank you
You're
It
both.
was really fun.
you're
Yeah.
welcome. It was fun.
To start off for us with such amazing people is really cool for us.
Yeah, it was great.
Can I say this? It's so not me, but I'm going to anyway. You'll have to check with Chris, and maybe you can put it in after, put it on and see if it's true. But we were told on Monday in sales meeting that we, I guess you have to say it. See, that's so my
Oh my
personality.
gosh.
We're going to have a celebration. We are the first team or the first team.
That's what he.
That's
I
how
wasn't there,
Chris
but that's what
said
you
it to me.
Yeah.
In Ogden to have $1 million GCI in a year.
Oh my gosh.
In the Ogden office.
In the Ogden office.
Yeah, the first team in the Ogden office.
Yeah.
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 Took
That is
right.
amazing. Congratulations.
So he was going to verify the numbers, and then he said we're going to do a celebration. I said we'll have Mandi come because I'm not coming.
That's amazing.
But
That is so
So-
amazing.
I don't know if you want to throw
Congratulations.
that in, but we don't know yet. He said he was going to, but that's what he told me in sales meeting on Monday.
Wow. That
So,
is just so amazing.
so
Yeah.
These are
now
so
we have to
cool.
pay taxes.
Just a couple
Okay.
bucks.
Do you want to end it like
And
you wanted
Mandy's
to?
so
Should we
much
end
better at
it?
the saving part than
Well, I
me.
think we're going to call this deal closed.
Oh, nice. Thanks, guys, so much.
Awesome.
So much. That was fun. Really
You
fun.
guys are amazing.
Now you guys get to clean that up.
Yeah.
Yep.